Hey, I've had the iPhone 7 Plus in my possession for about 2 weeks now. I've had time to look at it and play around with it and see what I like and what I don't. If you're still on the fence as to whether or not you need to upgrade your 6 Plus or 6S Plus, stick around and I will go through a few of the differences between the two phones and I will give you my opinion as to whether or not you should upgrade.
All right, so this is the iPhone 6 Plus and the iPhone 7 Plus. The purpose of this test is to see what real world difference there is in these two phones. For the sake of the test, I've gone ahead and left the 6 Plus on the old operating system, which is version of iOS 9.3.5. And then on the new one, obviously we are running version where are we at right there, 10.1. So let's go ahead and close out of there, close those out. I'm going to go ahead and shut them off. I apologize for the sniffles in advance. Alright, let's go ahead and turn these on in 3, 2, 1. And they just about turned on exactly the same amount of time. Obviously the 6 Plus I had to swipe to open up, but other than that they were almost identical. So let's see the quickness of swiping from page to page. I'm not really seeing any real difference. Maybe it's a little slower. Here's another example. Let's go ahead and take it to the last page and take it all the way home. And it's exactly the same. There's no difference. Alright, for the next test, we're going to test the internet speed, both on Wi-Fi. For this test, I'm going to go ahead and remove Wi-Fi on the opposite phone as to not affect the connection. First up is the 6 Plus. Alright, turn off the Wi-Fi here and turn it on here. And just in case that's a little low, I'm going to go ahead and test that again. When you're up at those speeds, 20 megabits is not going to make any difference. See, there we go. Okay, so for the 6 Plus, we have a ping of 26 milliseconds, a download speed of 226.92, and upload at 17.21. On the 7 Plus, we have 24 milliseconds, 225.75 megabits, and 17.85 megabits upload. So they're roughly the same. Alright, so the start time on both phones seems to be about the same. The internet speed is roughly the same between the two phones on Wi-Fi. Opening the apps obviously is going to be quicker on the 7 Plus. It does have 3 times the RAM. So, or roughly. Let's go ahead and see how quickly it will load the camera app. And that's kind of weird. Let's go ahead and close it out. Make sure everything's closed out. Ah. Let's try this again. 3, 2, 1. Alright, so that time both of them opened roughly about the same time. It's loaded already, so close that out, open it. Alright, so the opening time of your cameras can be roughly the same. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture. Let's see, the subject of our picture is going to be a Canon lens, older standard lens. Let's see if I can get a crop, 100% crop, to show you the difference between the two cameras. These are the two images taken with the two phones. This is going to be a test of the image stabilization on the 6 Plus using the 60 frames per second mode at 1080p. Just moving it in and out. Giggity. This is just to give an idea of what the image stabilization looks like on both phones. Both of them are at 1080p at 60 frames per second. I don't know if you can tell this, but the image stabilization on the 7 is actually a lot better than on the 6.
Alright, so the biggest reason to change from the 6 Plus to the 7 Plus is going to be the camera. The camera, instead of shooting just 1080p in video, it now shoots 4K. It's also a 12 megapixel camera with a second lens that allows you to have it's basically a 2x converter. But in low light situations, it's not going to use it. It's going to use the first lens, and it's going to use digital zoom, if that makes sense, because it doesn't make sense to me. And on that camera, it also is more image stabilized than on the 6, which is a very good feature if you're running around shooting videos. Other than that, there's really not much else. The hard drive space, I mean, it's doubled, but that's what they've been doing. It's not that big a deal. I can't tell a difference in the display brightness. I would like to be able to lock it in at the highest. I know there's a special setting in there. There's some auto feature thing where it kicks it up into a different brightness level. But from my experience, it hasn't been that reliable. It'll come in and out in the brightest situations, and I can't force it into that. And I'd like to be able to do that. So the brightness is really not an issue. I can't tell the difference between the two. All right, so I'm really trying. Camera's really it. App speed, loading apps that are larger, like the whatever Pokemon app. Obviously, you're gonna see a little bit of difference, but once it's loaded, you're really not going to tell any difference. The 6 Plus runs very smoothly. Alright, so that's pretty much all I have about that. Do I have buyer's remorse? Don't tell my wife. I did try to cancel this 2 other times, and she didn't want me to do it because she wanted me to have the latest and greatest like she has. I am a little bit of a fan of cameras and videography, just a little bit. So it's definitely an improvement. If you watch one of my other videos, I took a time lapse and did a pretty good job of that. A time lapse of a sunrise, actually, and it did do pretty decently. I was fairly happy with the results. So Like I said, if you're on the fence and you're really not looking to spend the money, don't. There's no real reason to, unless you just have to have a slightly better camera. Wait till next year, see what Apple comes up with. Chances are it's going to be better than this one. And if it is better than this one, guess what? Both you and I will be trading our phones. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to post some pictures of previous videos. If you want to check out the vlog, check out some funny videos. Got a couple goofy ones where my wife's saying weird things. Yeah, so, oh, thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later.